Welcome back to Gold and Blue Dude, home of college football videos every single day. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I started my YouTube channel back in 2019, and so far this is the most confusing college football season I've covered so far. That includes last year, a COVID season. I think 2021 has surpassed 2007 as the craziest college football season ever. So here were the teams that I considered still in the playoff hunt before yesterday and their rankings. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Georgia. Number 3, Iowa. Number 4, Penn State. Number 5, Cincinnati. Number 6, Oklahoma. Number 7, Ohio State. Number 8, Oregon. Number 9, Michigan. Number 11, Michigan State. Number 12, Oklahoma State. Number 14, Notre Dame. Number 16, Kentucky. Number 17, Ole Miss. Number 19, Wake Forest. And then 3 teams that completely fell off the cliff. Number 10, BYU. They lost. No chance. Number 13, Arkansas. They lost again, no chance. And number 18, Auburn. They lost, no chance. But what about the other teams? Don't forget to check out Thrive Fantasy. Download the app and use the promo code DUDE, dude. They'll match your deposit 100% up to $100. This is a player prop fantasy app. They do all the research for you. They even show you how strong your picks are. So if you want to take a risk, that's all up to you. Choose 10 out of the 20 player props to build your lineup. And their feature contest pays out a combined $100,000. $20 and you're in. First place prize gets $20,000. Go download the app, use the promo code DUDE, get started. Well, number 1, Alabama, they go on the road and get beat by a bad Texas A&M, 41-38. At one point, they were down by 2 touchdowns. They bound to come back, take the lead, but still fall short. How far does Alabama fall? Now, there's no room for error for Alabama. They have to win out and win the SEC, and that includes beating Georgia. Speaking of Georgia, number 2, Georgia, they have been the most dominating team so far this year, comparable to the 2019 LSU and the 2020 Alabama. They go on the road and obliterate number 18 Auburn 34-10. They've only allowed 2 offensive touchdowns this entire season. Can anybody stop Georgia? I don't think so. Then there's number 3 Iowa. They do beat number 4 Penn State at home, but only after Sean Clifford, the quarterback for Penn State, goes down. They mount a comeback and beat number 4 Penn State 23-20. The good news for Iowa though is the rest of their schedule is cake. So they definitely could go into the Big Ten Championship undefeated. Do they get a rematch with Penn State? Do they have to play Ohio State? Do they have to play Michigan? Do they have to play Michigan State? I don't know. Moving on to number 4, Penn State. Yes, they go on the road, lose to number 3, Iowa, 23-20, but their playoff hopes still intact. They still control their own destiny. They can win the Big Ten East and have a rematch with Iowa and get into the playoffs. Number 5, Cincinnati. Is this the year a group of 5 team makes the playoffs? So far, it's setting up for that scenario. They have no issues with Temple. They whooped them 52-3, and that's what they're going to need to do from here on out. Bury their opponents. And they did pass their 2 road tests at Indiana and at Notre Dame. Number 6, Oklahoma, finally looking like a playoff team. They beat number 21 Texas 55-48, but they were down 28-7. They switched quarterbacks from Spencer Rattler to Caleb Williams and look like a completely different team when it comes to the offense. They have a pretty good defense, so if their offense performs like it did yesterday with Caleb Williams, the Sooners are probably getting to the playoffs. Number 7, Ohio State continues to bounce back from that loss to Oregon. They whooped Maryland 66-17. They're going to move up. Number 8, Oregon, they were on a bye week, still licking their wounds over that loss to Stanford. The Pac-12 needs them to bounce back in a big way because they're the Pac-12's only hope. Number 9, Michigan, they survive on the road, beat Nebraska 32-29. I had Michigan getting upset, so this is actually a good win. Nebraska was looking good. Number 11, Michigan State, they go on the road and humiliate Rutgers, and Rutgers is a decent team, 31-13. That's the same Rutgers team that Michigan had a little bit of trouble with. Michigan only beat them by 1 touchdown at home. Number 12, Oklahoma State, they're on a bye week. They still have a chance, and they get Oklahoma at home at the end of the year. Could the Cowboys get into the playoffs? Number 14, Notre Dame survives at Virginia Tech 32-29, and we all know the playoff committee loves Notre Dame, so if they win out, they're going to have a shot. Number 16, Kentucky looks good again. They beat LSU 42-21. Big game next week, though, at number 2, Georgia. Can they at least be competitive, something that nobody else has been able to do? Even Clemson that first game, I know Georgia only won 10-3, but if you watch the entire game, it was never really in doubt. Number 17, Ole Miss, they keep their hopes alive. They beat number 13, Arkansas at home 52-51. It took a failed 2-point conversion to win the game, but hey, a win's a win. And with Alabama losing, if Ole Miss wins out and Alabama loses another game, Ole Miss will get to the SEC championship. So yes, their playoff hopes are still intact. And finally, number 19, Wake Forest, they stay undefeated going go on the road and beat Syracuse 40-37 in overtime. Yes, Syracuse is a bad team, but Syracuse is known for upsetting good teams at home. That's a good win for Wake Forest. How does the playoff picture look right now to Gold and Blue, dude? Well, the number 1 team, Georgia. And I don't think anybody's going to beat Georgia. I don't even know if anybody's going to be competitive with Georgia. So I have them firmly in the number 1 spot. Number 2, Iowa. With Alabama losing and Iowa beating Penn State, they're the number 2 team in the nation in my eyes. Number 3, Cincinnati. Cincinnati passed their 2 road tests at Indiana, at Notre Dame, dominated Temple. I think Cincinnati is the number 3 team in the nation. Finally, number 4, Oklahoma. Finally looking like a playoff team. But they still have to play Oklahoma State at the end of the year. Both of those 2 teams could be undefeated, and it is in Stillwater. But there's still a lot of football to be played. The Big Ten East still looks like the strongest division in all of college football. Even though Penn State lost yesterday, I think they'll bounce back. And you have Ohio State. Yes, they lost to Oregon, but they're bouncing back in a big way. You have an undefeated Michigan and an undefeated Michigan State. So who really knows what the playoff picture will look by the end of the season? This just keeps getting crazier and crazier. By the way, with Alabama's loss to Texas A&M on the road, that knocks them out of the top 10 for me. We'll see what the AP poll does with them. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.